business. I have to have the time freedom. And I think most of you are probably in that position as well. So that's why you're here listening to me and looking at this opportunity or getting trained to create that type of lifestyle where you have freedom and time and everything that comes with it. But I also have the experience of falling down and hitting my head really hard and falling down, just like all of us, right? But I love what Nelson Mandela says. Nelson Mandela said, do not judge me by how many times I have fallen down, but judge me how many times fallen down and gotten back up. And I think that and I'll give you just a quick example and story. About 6 years ago, I used to own 3 fitness studios. And I get into an incident where I end up in a wheelchair, broke both my legs. And I remember at that time I was also listening to a mentorship call. This guy was worth about $100 million. And he said to me, well, he was in a conference call. He was talking to everybody, but I felt he was talking to me. I just got to be candid. And I felt he said to me, he said, if you have an income or a business that depends on you being there, you're in trouble, because the moment you're not there, income stops. And I remember when those words, I stayed up all night thinking about those words. I mean, it really resonated, but it also bothered me because I was like, man, he is right. It was a shock to my ego that I was running businesses that require my time and attention. And if I wasn't there, business would stop, income would stop. Like a prophecy, it's exactly what happened to me. I get into a place where I ended up in a wheelchair. I was not able to tend to my businesses, my 3 gyms. Essentially, over time, I had to close them down. And I fell 5 months behind on my rent, five months behind on my car payment. I was hiding my car in my next door neighbor's garage, get this, because it was in repo status. And my garage broke, so it wouldn't go down. So I had to call my neighbor, and it was this older lady who we became real good friends. I called her up. She's like, "Hey, David," and she was like, "Hey, can I put my car in your garage because it's a repo stat and the guy's looking for it?" And I remember she said, "Absolutely, that's great. You know, sorry that's happening, but yeah, absolutely." She put her car in my garage. I put mine in hers, and I was able to keep my car until I found an opportunity. But here's what happened. During those 5 months, I was in a wheelchair. I was stuck at home. I couldn't leave. I didn't have no help. My parents lived really, really far away. You know, my friends had their own lives to live. I was able to train my mind. My body was broken, but my mind was strong. I was like, my mind, I read over 100 and listened to over 100 different personal development books and study and listened to audiobooks and YouTube, all in human achievement and personal development. I decided that I was going to go ahead and I was going to be a sponge of information on how to take my life and transform my life. When 5 months got done and I was able to get back on my feet, it's like the universe knew exactly what I was looking for. And I found a unique opportunity. Immediately, I got stuck. I ran with it. 12 months later, I'm making $1 million. From going from broken everything was broken, my everything but my mind was broken, and I went from there to 12 months later making $1 million and making my first $1 million in a 12-month period. And I so if you allow me to, I give you just some thoughts and ideas, and I want you to be a free thinking individual. Okay, I'm not telling you this is the law. I'm telling you, be a free thinking individual. And if you allow me to give you just some thoughts and ideas that possibly could help you the same way that it helped me, I would love to do that. And that's what I'm going to do right now. But because everything, like Mr. Danny Bay yesterday, I found our amazing founder, who's one of my very first mentors, Michael On, one of my mentors, Mr. Yuli Gonzalez. A shout out to you, sir. One of my very first mentors as well. When they've always said that success is nothing more than a state of mindset. And so it is possible to win before you win, because you win up here. It is possible to lose before you win too, because you lose up here. So I want to give you the right proper mindset of what you can do to have a tremendous amount of success within this opportunity. And I believe that that's where it starts. And I'm a testament. My life and my experience is a testament to this information. I will share with you to start off with that everything starts with a vision. Everything that you do in your life will always start with the vision of a future, and it has to be a clear vision. If you don't have a vision of the future, here's what happens: you're automatically dragged down by memories of the past. Here's what scientists have discovered. We have studied and we know a lot about the brain and about the mind. And what we know right now about the brain and the mind is that our minds and our brains were evolved to survive, for survival mode. So therefore, it's 5 times more negative than it is positive at any given situation. It came from many hundreds of thousands of years ago. Our brain was evolving. We were evolving into that flight or fight instinct that, hey, I always have to look out of my shoulder because there's a saber-tooth tiger around the corner. So I gotta be aware of everything. So that's how we evolve. So now our brains are this way. So we essentially are constantly thinking about the worst case scenario. What are things? Now, this could be a good thing, this could be a bad thing, and I'll explain that in just a second. But I want you to know that you got to be inspired by the vision of the future. And I'll give you just a quick formula on about a vision. What is a vision? Here's the formula. Number one, you got to have a specific outcome. That's number one. You got to know what you want. I want to be an influencer 200K by December of 2021. I want to be an influencer 200K by December 2021. That's a specific outcome. Then number two, here's number two. Write this down. You got to have a compelling whys. And here it is. That's what we talk about this. Why? Time with family. That's a why. You want to be able to travel the world with your family. It's amazing. Be debt-free. Oh my God. Instead of be debt-free, really is financial peace. Ooh, that feels good, doesn't it? Just how about peace of mind from finances? Ooh, that sounds so beautiful, doesn't it? Peace of mind from financing. College education, being able to help your kids. Retirement, a new home, travel. Give more to charity, right? Being able to help sponsor a orphanage. Freedom to live the life that you choose. Now, this is a compelling why. You got to have many, many reasons. Remember, the word motivation comes from motives, right? The more motivation you have is that person that has the most motives. So now number two, you have a compelling why. But here's number three. You got to have a compelling identity, an inspiring identity. This is where Mr. Danny Bay and was talking about last night. He said, he was talking about set a goal to become a millionaire, not for the money, but for what it will make us and you to achieve it. The person you have to become. That's the key. You see, human beings always, listen to this. We always behave in accordance of how we see ourselves, the identity that we create. So what type of identity do you and I have to create? And we can create it. You see, there's 2 types of mindsets. There's a great book out there I recommend called Mindset by Carol Dweck. I also recommend another book called Grid by Angela Duckworth. Incredible books. Those 2 books, write them down and go get them today. In fact, I challenge you to go get Mindset and the book Grid today. I challenge you to do that. Those 2 books talk about the mindset and what it takes to win, the champions, and it studies champions, it studies achievement. And here's what they said. He said that successful people, they have a growth mindset. They have those champions. They have a growth mindset. Now, oppose a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset, they say, oh, this is just the way circumstances are. I was born this way. This is just the way it is. A fixed mindset is constantly defending themselves because they think they constantly have to prove themselves. A growth mindset understand that where you are, you don't have to defend it because that's just a starting point. That's just a starting point. I'm a baby. I can't walk, but that's a starting point. Soon enough, I'll be crawling. Soon enough, I'll be walking. I'll be falling in the process, but soon enough, I'll be running too. But that was just a starting point. That's a growth mindset. You can get better. You can do it. You can get better. There's another great book called The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle. Incredible book. One of my favorite all times, Daniel Coyle, The Talent Code. And here's what he said. And I give you the overall. He talks about how talent is created, how skills is created. And he says, to create talent and to create skills, failure is not even an option. It's a biological requirement. Let me tell you one more time. Listen to this. Failure, falling down, the struggle, the pressure, it's not even an option. It's a biological requirement. What's a biological requirement? Eating food is a biological requirement. Breathing is a biological. Drinking water is a biological requirement. He says, for you and I to improve, you have to embrace it. And what's the type of person that embraces those type of people? That's the question we have to ask. Well, it's a person that has desire. It's a person that has a sickening work ethic. Sickening work ethic. 80 faint. Sickening work ethic. It's a person that's commitment, that has to have the backpacks by the door. You know what I'm talking about? That relationship where a couple just got married, they walk through the house, the wife sees the backpacks by the door and asks the husband, hey, honey, what are those backpacks? And the husband says, hey, listen, honey, I love you so much, but just in case things don't work out, my backpack's right there. Ooh. How long would that relationship last? At all. Not at all. Let me tell you, most people enter this opportunity and all opportunities with that mindset. Saying, okay, I'm going to do this until 5 people tell me no. Until my friends, there's somebody that I care about laughs at me. Until someone else's opinion dictates my success. Until. You got to take those backpacks and go ahead and burn those backpacks. There's no way out. That's commitment. And then within that process, you got to be a person that has a positive mental attitude. You got to be a person of enthusiasm, gets urgency. Napoleon Hill, in his great book, Think and Grow Rich, he said, without urgency, desire loses its value. He says, you got to be urgent. You got to want it now. You got to you got to wake up. There has to be an obsession behind this. You got to be obsessed. Obsession is the key. You got to be obsessed. If you're brand new, here's my message for all of you that are brand new. 90 days obsession. 90 days. Just obsess yourself for 90 days. What does all you out for 90 days look like? That's what I'm looking for. That's what you're looking for. Let me tell you, you're going to impress yourself. Impress yourself. Here's the next person you have to become is you got to be a coachable person. You got to have coachability. I love what Paul St. Pilser says. He says, Paul St. Pilser says to his executives before he coaches them, if you don't know who Paul St. Pilser, Google him up. You'll see he's incredible. But he says, spare me your brilliance for 90 days and let me show you how to do business. Listen, we have people here that are incredible. We have colonels of the Air Force. We have entrepreneurs here. We have doctors. We have engineers. We have coders. We have scientists. We have mechanics. We have professionals in this business right now. And they're the best at what they do in their field. But in this business, most of us are brand new. So here's what I would say is you got to humble yourself. If you're not humble, you're on your way to being humble. Every person, even Michael Jordan has a coach. Even the greatest has to coach. We all need to be coachable. It's how we get better. The only way we get better. So then from there, this is a decision you made. So you made that decision. Well, good. Boom. This is the person I'm going to become. Now the decision, you say, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. Now you understand it's a learning curve. And that learning curve, it's okay to have a learning curve. Why? Because you have a growth mindset and you're not a fixed mindset. You know the learning curve. All the learning curve is exactly what it is. There's stepping stones for you to learn to become better. I've been 14 years in this industry. 14 years in this industry. And in my first 7.5 years, I made $800. $800 in 7.5 years. Will you have stuck with it? For 7.5 years, $800? Then my next 6.5 years, I made $4 million. Now, think about that. 7.5 years, no money, 6.5 years, $4 million. Okay, it was a learning curve. Now, let me ask you a question. Could I have gone my next 6.5 years, could that have happened without the 7.5 years? What do you think? You see, That's the learning curve. Everybody's different, by the way. Everybody's different. I was just messed up right here. I'm messed up. I have fears. I have childhood trauma. I have things in the baggage, all this stuff, all the bad habits. I mean, that I had to do a brain lobotomy. This is why I had to read so much personal development. And I still do it. It's a habit to this day. It's a habit. Even before this call, I was reading personal development. I was just reading the book Grid by Angela Duckworth. That's why I recommend it. I just got done with it. It's an amazing book. Grid by Angela Duckworth. Incredible, incredible. By the way, go get it, go get it, go get it, go get it. Grid. So then everybody has an emotional roller coaster, but the emotional roller coaster, emotional roller coaster is just a trigger. It's just a trigger letting you know that you have something to work on. Because ain't nothing happening. You see, all experiences, and I'm going to go yoga on you right now, all experiences are internal experiences. Is it not? You're looking at me right now, you're looking at the screen, but the reality is, no, light photons are flying, are entering in your eyeballs and giving electrical signals in your brain. So where are you seeing me? You're not seeing me out here. You're seeing me in here. Where are you hearing me? You're not, sound waves are traveling and you're hearing me in here. All experiences are eternal. So when you feel an emotional roller coaster coming in, it's just a trigger letting you know I need to grow in this area. Because the reality is there is no frustration. There is nothing. Unless we're in Africa, inside of a cage, being tortured, we can complain. That guy can complain. But if I'm in a comfy chair, I'm in a nice room, it's hot outside, but I'm in AC, I have a car, I'm good. Family's good. There's no reason for me to have an emotional roller coaster. I have to stay steady. And that's where it comes with that mindset of passion, the mindset of perseverance. That's where it comes into play. That mindset of being focused on your vision. You see, obstacles are those ugly things you notice when you take your eyes off your vision. That's it. When you're so focused on your vision, you cannot focus on the obstacles. When you're so focused on building momentum, guess what? You don't have time for obstacles. The obstacles just bounce off of you. Little things that, oh, my Pico G2 has not arrived yet. Oh, don't worry. Email support. That's my favorite thing to do. Email support. I'm focused on building momentum. I'm focused on talking to the next person. There's no emotional roller coaster here. There's only steadiness. And I'm going to stay that way. And I recommend for you to develop that type of mindset. That every time you feel something coming down is just a trigger letting you know there's something you have to work in internally. Is it okay if I tell you the truth? I hope that it is. A good leader doesn't tell you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. And this is good medicine for every single one of us. You got to have the right expectations. Here's the right expectations, all right? People think that this is a lottery ticket. No such thing. You don't rise to the level of your expectations. People have, I'm going to have these expectations. I'm going to do this, and that. No. You don't rise to the level of your expectations. You fall to the level of your preparation. So if you didn't meet your expectation, guess what? You just didn't prepare enough. That's straight up. It's okay. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. There's nothing wrong. In fact, there's power there. There's power in admitting this. Because now you're assuming responsibility, what is called extreme ownership. And another amazing book by Jocko Willink, I'll also recommend. I'm telling you, I got them all. Jocko Willink, Extreme Ownership. Go write that down and go ahead and get that book too. Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. Essentially, it's just accepting responsibility. Accept responsibility comes from two words, response and ability. At any given moment, I have the ability to choose my response. Responsibility. That's what it is. So you set the right expectations and understand that the right expectation is I need to prepare more. And because I'm responsible, I can choose how much intensity I want to prepare. I want to go and I can go ahead and meet the gap, right? The gap is here. This is my goal. This is where I'm at. I can go ahead and I can meet the gap because it's a choice and I choose to do that. That requires, of course, long-term thinking. In the book Mindset by Carol Dweck, I said this the last time, but I'll remind you again, they did a study of students that have long-term thinking versus short-term thinking. And here's what they found. They found, and I'll give you, in fact, I'll tell you real quick how much time do I got. Okay, I got 5 minutes. Here's what they found. They found that they did a study where there's 150 students went to this music program. They followed it 4 years later. Here's with the first, when they were entering the program, they asked them, how long do you plan on playing this instrument? One group of them said, I don't know, for a little bit of time. Another group said, I think I'll be doing it for a while. And the third group said, man, I will never leave this. I'm going to do this forever. 4 years later, they followed them. And they categorized them short-term commitment, medium-term commitment, and long-term commitment. 4 years later, they found that the people that said, I'll be doing this for the rest of my life, during those 4 years, outperformed the other two groups combined by 400% in ability in every category, 400%. That tells us that long-term thinking produces short-term results. Mind-blowing. That when you think, it's a paradox, it's a paradox. That you can, by thinking long-term, you think short-term, versus people that say, oh, I'm going to give this 90 days. I'm going to give this 6 months. Short-term thinking, you're going to produce tiny results. I'm going to say, I'm going to do this no matter what. When do I stop? When I reach my goal, that's when I stop. Boom, fast results now. When you have that type of thinking, never quit attitude. You're going to come across dream stealers. I said that. But when you're untouchable, you can become untouchable. You know how you do that? When you make your dreams a priority. That's it. The people that are untouchable are the people that make their dreams a priority. Those are the people that win. When you make your dream a priority, guess what? It's incredible. Because nothing can touch you. Your family, nobody can say anything to you. And it's going to happen. It's okay. Let them. Napoleon Hill even said it in his book, Think and Grow. He says that when his 13th principle, the number one enemy is your friends, family, and neighbors of those successful people. They were the 500 most successful people in the world. They told them, hey, they do it out of love. They don't, most people, they're not horrible people. Most people are good people. They just hurt. They have this cage, this mental cage they live in. And when you talk about something that is outside their thinking level, because the lid is there, and this is their lid, you're talking about stuff up here. Financial freedom, traveling the beach with your family all over the world, helping other people, capitalizing on a trend, capitalizing on virtual reality, working hard for yourself for a short period of time so you can have massive results. Outside their thinking, you just hit their lid. So guess what? They're gonna be like, whoa. They don't see it. They're like this, looking around, say, I don't see the vision you're saying. They live in that cage. You cannot be bothered by it. You just have to recognize it and love those people. That's it. And forgive them. And you don't forgive for them, you forgive for you. You get the monkey off your back. You with me? I hope you are. Okay. Now, when you're doing this, guess what? You're gonna come across three types of people. You're gonna be sorting. That's all the way there. We're sorting for people. We're looking for the lookers. We're looking for people that are looking for us. Some people are gonna say yes. Those are the people you're gonna dedicate 80% of your time to the yes. Some people say maybe. You're gonna dedicate 20% of that. And some people are rotten apples. You're gonna say you just dedicate no time to those people. But here's what's interesting. The rotten apples serve a purpose. They're there to get you better. I've done thousands of three-way calls. And I know Mr. Tommy Lee has done thousands, Mr. Robert Griffin, Mr. Thomas Berry, and they can all agree with me that you always gotten better when you got a rotten apple on the phone. When I get one, and this doesn't happen very often, but when it happens, I'm like, ooh, there you are. Let's do this. Yeah, I'm getting better. Ooh, that's a good question. I never thought about that. Let me write that down. Next time I get it. And guess what? The next time I gotta come across a rotten apple on a three-way call, it's like tennis. Because I heard it all before. Everything they're gonna tell me, I already heard. I have an answer for it. A thought out answer. And they're like, oh, okay, oh, all right. And so the rotten apples serve a purpose. It's okay. Love them anyways, even though they do that. They're rotten. It's okay. And we're not calling people rotten, by the way. You know, some people are, we're not calling nobody wrong. All right. Some will, some won't, some wait, some will. So what next? That's the mindset. You gotta have a mindset that some people will do this. Some people will wait. It's okay. We'll love them anyways. Some people won't do it. It's okay. Everybody says no for their own reasons, by the way, never for yours. It's always for their own reasons. It doesn't have to do nothing with you. It all has to do 100% on them. Remember, they have it lit. And sometimes you're talking to someone about a vision up here and their lid's up here. It's okay. But here's what happens. Sometimes the people that won't, then something in their life happens and their vision opens up and their life forces them to raise their lid. And when they do, if you talk to them again, they'll be ready and they'll go influence the 200,000 because they were just ready. It was an awakening for that person. And when they're awakened, man, it's a beautiful thing to see. Many times I've seen that. I said no. A friend of mine told me no. For a year later, his life, things have changed. A year later, I came back to him, talked to him again. He said yes. 12 months later, he was making a 6-figure income with me. I mean, I've seen that over and over and over again. And people that said no, that are just, just next people. Next. Friends tell me all the time, hey, Dave, what about this person? And I read their text message, like, oh, that's the next. That's it. Let's set up a call for that person. Let me see, what about this person? That's a yes. You know, but my favorite, sometimes you just gotta say next. Some will, some wait, some won't. So what next? So I will leave you with this: is that everything that people do, again, they do it for their own reasons, and you have the capabilities to go as far as you want with this business. You have the capabilities. It's already within every single one of us. It's already there. You got to conquer your fear. Fear is false, evident, appearing real. You got to conquer your fear and then have a sickening work ethic. Just work. Just talk to the next person. As soon as I get done from here, I'm going to go ahead and do that. My goal, I will put it out there just to everybody, because I want everybody to hold me accountable. I'm going to sponsor 100 people this year. This year, I'm going to sponsor 100 people. I'm just going to go all out massive action. And how am I going to do that? Not because I'm special. I'm just going to talk to people. That's it. I'll just talk to more people than you will. And that's all it is. I'm going to talk to more people. I have 2,500 people plus on my phone. I don't know how many people. I'm going to call them all. And you know what? I don't know them all. I mean, they're on my phone, but I don't know you. So I'm going to call you and I tell them, hey, how's it going? This is David Nieves. I have you on my phone. We're connecting with everybody on my phone. How are you? How you doing? You have you on my phone. And then I start a conversation. And then after I find out how they do, I say, hey, listen, I'm also calling you for a reason. Are you in a position right now? Let me ask you, you're in a position right now to look in your life to analyze a business project? I'm working on something huge. Is expanding from Korea here to the United States. It has to do with virtual reality next level. Are you in a position to analyze it? Everybody says yes. 95% of people say yes. I send them the video, invite them to the presentation. And I'm doing that with everybody on my phone. I'm going to sponsor 100 people this year. Do it with me. Come on, let's do it together. Let's go influence the 200K together. Let's really not just be influencers. Let's be influential. That's what we need to do. Not just be influencers. Let's be influentials. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the call to one of my good friends, a gentleman that I have the utmost respect. I met him now, and I've literally almost talked to him, and we communicate almost on a daily basis. And he's just a beautiful individual that from inside and out. But he also has the results to back it up. And I'm privileged to not only call him a friend, call him a mentor, call him a leader's leader, a mentor's mentor. So I'm going to go ahead and get past the Zoom to Mr. Mark Isaac.
Mr. David, thank you very much for your amazing mindset training. And, if everyone can take a moment to just go to the chat section and just say, thank you, David, for just everything that he's done and having a great mindset. You could see that he does not have any space in his mind for any negativity and is filling and putting that work in to grow himself. And that's why he was able to do amazing in the industry. And so I'm really glad that you became a close friend of mine, and I can't wait to really help you and everybody on this call to really make a difference here with our business. And so, Mr. David, thank you very much for your time. Well, first of all, my name is Mark Isaac, and I'm actually calling from the Houston, Texas market. And I'm excited for everybody because just like a lot of you that's on this call, I remember when I came to my first training just like this. And I was listening to the information, and since day one of me getting involved in the network marketing industry with no business experience till today, no college degree, I can share with everybody that one training like this, understanding the compensation plan, made me it put me in a position that I didn't need anybody to motivate me or inspire me, because I was inspired already because I understood the business and I understood the compensation plan. And that's what I have an opportunity to do today, is dive right into the compensation plan. And what we'll do actually is this, okay? Let me see if I could pull it up. Hold on a second. All right, hold on. Having a little bit of technical difficulties. All right, so as I get this pulled up and fixed, we're gonna make this happen. I wanna have a chance to, okay, hold on a second. So sorry guys for the technical difficulties. I'm actually gonna go on my other laptop and actually pull this up. And I just wanna, I wanna give hope to everybody that you don't need to be the best in technology to make this work, because if you can really, if you could really follow the system and plug into these events, you can make it happen. So hold on a second. Apologize for that, everybody, but we're gonna make it happen. All right. All right, everybody. Got it pulled up? Got it, got it. All right. And I'm gonna switch this so we are good to go. All right. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and do this, guys. All right, hold on a second. Again, I apologize for everybody. So we're gonna have two laptop screens, All right, man, I'm pumped. So we will always find a way or make a way, right? So this is what I wanna have a chance to do, is pull up. There we go. Leaders are problem solvers, right? All right, so let's go ahead and dive right into the compensation plan. And so first few things to understand that's very crucial before we actually talk about the 9 benefits here in GPS is that understand when you get involved in GPS, you're considered an influencer. And every influencer can build only 2 teams, a team on the left and a team on the right. And each team will be recognized as either the power leg or a working leg. So what's the difference? The power leg is the leg that has more volume, more customers are acquired, and the working leg is the leg that has less volume or less customers. So the 2 types of volume that we actually have here with GPS is business volume and influencer volume. Business volume, also known as BV, okay, this does not change, meaning it's set for the products that we have. And right now we only have 2 products, the Pico G2 device and also the VRLU subscription that we have. So Pico's 400 BV, VRLU is 100 BV. And for influencer volume, it's currently the same, but influencer volume is subject to change. What does that mean? It means that, currently right now, Pico's 400, but we can throw different promotions later on in the year, maybe at a special occasion or a special month. And maybe instead of 400 IV, it'll be 500 IV. So it'll actually help you when we throw out these promotions, once we have more products, to be able to hit the higher different levels in GPS. So very few things to understand there too. But the last thing I want to talk about is influencers must be an active influencer, meaning they need 100 personal BV to receive any commissions here in GPS. They need minimum 100 personal business volume. Currently right now, that's a VRLU subscription, but that app only works on virtual reality, meaning that they need a device. So we have Pico G2. So, this is so crucial to understand for two main reasons. Number one is you will not earn a single dime in GPS just enrolling for $99. So when someone enrolls just for 99 bucks, you have to understand and let them know that they won't earn a single commission. They could have a team underneath of them that has 1 million, in volume. They could have hundreds of thousands of customers that they've acquired. But if they personally don't have 100 BV, they will not earn a single dime on the business that's going to be created, even if it's underneath of them. But most importantly, this is one thing that I believe that's even more important than not earning a commission in GPS is the culture you're creating in your organization. Okay? Just understand that in this business, now being it for a decade, and I've seen this from 19 years old to 29 right now, I've seen that in this business, people will do what you do, not what you say for them to do it. So if you want to have a team that's duplicating results, that's getting involved the correct way, then it really starts with you as a leader. Leaders lead. Leaders set the pace, and that's where followers follow into their footsteps. You won't be able to build a massive, successful organization without creating the right culture. So I encourage every single person that got involved, if you didn't go out there and sign up for the VRLU subscription or get a Pico G2 device, go out there and get customers. For you to go out there and be convincing that this is a great industry, you personally have to be convinced. Think like an entrepreneur, don't think like an employee. Entrepreneurs always ask themselves, what is the return? Employees think, what do I have to spend? What's the cost? But entrepreneur mindset, they understand and believe that they can go out there and market to the fullest, right? And can't go all out building their business unless they are a product of the product that they're marketing. So again, I want to make that clear for everybody. But diving right into the different benefits we have, the first one is called influencer marketing commission, okay? And these are commissions paid out on a weekly basis. Just like they said earlier in the presentation, you could receive anywhere from 1 up to 10% based on the product every time someone orders a Pico G2 device, a VRLU subscription using your influencer ID. And what's exciting is that the more services that we're going to come out with, more content that we'll be coming out with, guess what? More commissions you can earn. So the first way is you personally going out there and acquiring customers. But this is when it gets really exciting. It's called Group Influencer Marketing Commission, which is the second benefit in GPS. And these are commissions paid out on a weekly basis. So GIM, Group Influencer Marketing Commission. And remember, like I said earlier, every influencer can only build 2 teams, a team on the left and a team on the right. And every time you have 100 BV on the left and 100 BV on the right, and it's equivalent, that's called 1 GIM cycle, okay? I want you to understand the terminology. That's 1 GIM cycle. So if you have 200 BV on the left, 200 BV on the right, that's 2 GIM cycles, okay? So now let me explain how this works. So imagine on your left team, you had 3 people that got involved in your business, and each of them got 500 BV each. They ordered a Pico and they got a VRLU subscription. That's a total of 1,500 BV on your left team. And let's just say on your right team, you have 2 individuals that also both have 500 BV each. That's a total of 1,000 BV. So the question is, how many cycles are in this example? How many times is it equivalent on each side? It's 1,000, okay? 1,000 on the left, 1,000 on the right. And that's what's equivalent, meaning there's 10 cycles that occurred just in this example alone, okay? The number of cycles you receive for the week times the company's BV value for the week. And this number can range from $2 to $4 or even more. And it's all based on the company's revenue. So as an example, let's just put $3 there as an example. that's $30 you can receive just in number 2 benefit, the GIM commissions here with GPS. So understand that's how it works. If it doesn't make sense right away, don't worry. The more trainings you see, the more it's gonna make sense to you. But just know that if you build a team and help people get involved with the right culture, guess what? Everybody wins, okay? So the question is, what about the 500 that's remaining on the left team? Well, that volume carries over for the following week. So you start with 500 BB on your left team, okay? So this is what I get excited about. It's called the leadership matching bonus. And these are bonus paid out monthly. And this is what I love, is that the ones who are really aggressively building the business, this part of the compensation plan is really going to reward those that are actively building a team, actively going out there and finding new customer getters. What's exciting is that you can get paid up to 4 generations in compensation just in this portion alone. So what's a generation? If you personally bring an influencer into business and you sponsor them, that's your first generation. If that influencer sponsors another influencer in the business, that's your second generation. And you can get paid up to 4 generations. Once you become an influencer 100, you can receive a 40% match on your first generation's GIM commission. If you're an influencer 250 and above, you can earn an additional 30% match on your second generation's GIM commission. Okay? And if you're an influencer 500 and above, you can earn an additional 20% on your third generation and 10% on your fourth generation's GIM commission. All that means is that the higher you go into the compensation plan, the more people that are making money in your team, the more you're also making as the leader that introduced them to the business. And if you look to the very right, these are the different types of trees that you're gonna see in your back office. There's a placement tree, and understand every influencer can only have 2 frontline influencers. Once those spots are filled, every other person that you recruit into the business has to go underneath those original 2. That's considered a spillover. That's why if I were you, put your family in, do whatever it takes to position and get those spots filled as fast as possible. And this is what's exciting, is that if you personally bring someone into the business, whatever level they fall under the placement tree, if you personally brought them in the business, guess what? That's still your first generation, no matter what level they are. So the sponsor tree right underneath that, okay, that's gonna show you the people that you directly brought into the business, okay? Just like Mr. David said, he has a goal to bring 100 people into the business, meaning his sponsor tree is gonna have 100 different front lines and 100 different legs that he's gonna create. So I'm really excited for everybody to go out there and build a massive team. So let's talk about monthly influencer level bonus, also known as MIL. These are monthly bonuses that are paid out for qualifying for these positions. MIL bonuses starts at influencer 500. And as you can see right there, in just MIL bonuses alone, you can receive $500 a month as long as you maintain influencer 500. And what's exciting is that if you look at the middle column, these are the monthly qualifications in order to hit the different levels in our compensation plan. And this qualification is based on the working leg, assuming the power leg has more than this. As an example, let's look at influencer 500. You need 5,000 in volume on your working leg, assuming your power leg has more, for you to receive a $500 monthly influencer level bonus here with GPS. And as you can see, it dramatically increases all the way up to influencer 200K, where you could receive $200,000 a month in just MIL bonuses as long as you maintain influencer 200K. But it doesn't stop there. Level advanced bonus is what's really exciting and motivating, and it's really another reason for all of us to run for the different positions. And once you're an influencer 100 to influencer 1000, you could receive a $100 bonus, a $250 bonus, and a $1,000 LA bonus for hitting Influencer 1000 that you could receive one time that will be paid out the following month that you hit the different positions, okay? If you're an Influencer 5000, all the way up to Influencer 75K, again, you can see right there, there's a $10,000 bonus, a $50,000 bonus, and a $150,000 bonus that you could receive one time. And once you qualify 3 times, not 3 times in a row, doesn't matter a time frame, as long as you do it in your career, you just have to hit those positions 3 times, you'll get those bonuses paid out the following month. And of course, the higher positions, Influencer 100K, 200 up to 200K, you can see the bonuses dramatically increase. $500,000 NLA bonus, $1.5 million you can receive level advancement bonus, and a $3 million level advancement bonus that you can receive for qualifying for these positions 5 times. And again, not 5 in a row, not 5, within a year. No, as fast and as long as you're in your career. Like, that's the exciting part. There's no time frame. And what's exciting is that these will be divided in portions and be paid out to you. And so what's exciting is the fact that there's 5.2 million dollars that you could receive just in one-time bonuses here with GPS, right? But what I get excited about too is this right here. This one and the next one is called Domestic Leadership Pool Bonus, and the other one's gonna be called Global Leadership Pool Bonus. 1% of the total domestic revenue, right? So here in the United States, 1% of the annual revenue at the end of the year will be split amongst individuals that became an influencer 10K up to 75K. And here in GPS, we go by a point system. So if you hit influencer 10K, you receive 1 point. If you hit influencer 25K, you can receive 2 points, and so on and so on. So let's look at the example below. If you became an influencer 25K 5 months in the entire year, right? That's 5 times 2 points. That's 10 points that you've received for doing that example. Let's just say you also became an influencer 50K 2 months of the entire year. That's 2 times 3 points. That's an additional 6 points, a total of 16 points. Just understand that the more points you accumulate by the end of the year, guess what? The more bonus you can make because of this portion of the compensation plan. Again, it's like profit sharing. You know, as the company grows, so does your income. And that also applies domestically here in GPS, where 1% of the global revenue will be split amongst those that became an influencer 100K, 150K, and 200K members. And so understand, let's help you not just build your business, but everybody here, no matter what team you're in, we're all one team. We're called GPS, and we want to work together, and nobody that's on these calls will give you bad advice. So be coachable and follow the system. And of course, fast influencer promotion bonus. What's exciting about this is that this is a bonus that's paid out on a month. This is a bonus paid out weekly for the new influencer and monthly for the person who sponsored them into the business, okay? So new influencers can earn an additional 30% on their GIM's commission, okay, during their first 12 weeks from their start date. And an upline influencer can earn an additional 30% on the leadership match during the new influencer's 12 weeks from their start date. So let me give you an example. Let's just say you're a new influencer that got involved today. And in the next 12 weeks, let's just say you made $10,000 just in GIM commissions. Because you're within your first 12 weeks in GPS, you'll receive an additional 30%, in this example, $3,000. That's a total of $13,000 that you will receive for the same work just because you're within your first 12 weeks in the business. And if you were the one that introduced that new influencer in the business, you directly get a 40% match on their GIM. So what's 40% of $10,000? That's $4,000. You as a sponsor gets an additional 30%. That's $1,200 in addition. a total of $5,200 you could receive for the same work. But because you're going out there and personally enrolling people into the business, because you're going out there and showing the plan and helping people get enrolled and following a good culture, guess what? You're making more in bonuses also. You know, just like Mr. David has a goal to hit 100, guess what? I have a goal also to hit 100, you know, and why do you want to hit 100? Just because you want to go out there and share the best opportunity that we're going to experience in our lifetime. So I really do encourage you, go out there and build a team, massive organization. And we're going to have a training later today that's going to go over that. And of course, the retreats. You know, the retreats are exciting because it gets you to be in a position to rub shoulders with individuals that are top caliber in the industry, and you can mastermind. That's how magic happens, is when you have people that are able to mastermind with each other. You know, once you become an influencer 1,000 and you've done that 3 months in a calendar year, you could go to an influencer leadership conference that we'll have for influencers 1K and above. You know, if you want to go to the world retreats, or if you go out there and you want to qualify for the retreat that we have in Singapore, you got to be an influencer 10K, 3 months to go to Singapore, or three months as a 100K member and above to go to the world travel. And you know what's exciting is this, is that when I had a chance to talk to Mr. Danny Bay, our chairman and co-founder, you know, he knows I love traveling. You know, I love traveling because it just opens more doors for you and experiences amazing things. And what's amazing is that the world retreats, this is what I'm pumped about. You know, we're going to just get the people who are influencers 100K and above. We're just going to get together and be like, hey, where do you guys want to go? Do you want to go to Dubai? Do you want to go to some Bora Bora? Do you want to go to Fiji? Do you want to go here? I mean, what's exciting is that we're going to just figure out where we want to go. So, I mean, just imagine having that opportunity. And so we'll have that here with GPS. And so understand, ladies and gentlemen, that there's so much benefits that you can have here in GPS that we understand it's going to take time for you to fully understand this. You know, it's going to take time for you to be able to even teach it. But my recommendation is, how do you get good at something that you've never done before? It's by doing it over and over and over and over. And that's how you get good at it. Okay. So let me share this with you. I'm also brand new into the GPS opportunity, but you know what? Don't focus on failure, focus on progression. You know, a lot of people, they try to be perfect. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to progress. And if you can progress in your GPS business, learn the compensation plan, master the script, and be a sponsor monster is what I tell people. Sponsor monster, meaning you're good at sponsoring people. You're good at going out there and talking to people. And last advice I'll give you is that if you talk to a lot of people, you're going to make a lot of money. If you talk to some people, you'll make some money. If you talk to no people, you make nothing. So you got to talk to people if you want to build a team. Don't be a secret agent. Don't be in the witness protection program. Go out there and talk to people about the best opportunity that we're going to see in our lifetime. And because of that, I'm so excited for you to get trained by somebody that has mastered the VR space. And he's currently even vice president of a VR company right now in the Texas marketplace. Someone that I truly respect, a great friend of mine, someone that's just charismatic, and that charisma comes from the confidence that he has in the business and in the industry. And I want to pass the call now to the one and only Mr. Robert Griffin. Thank you for jumping on the call today, sir.
Mr. Isaac, it's always a pleasure, sir. And I just feel honored that I get to share the call with so many great leaders like yourself. And watching you grow has been really rewarding for me, because I remember your first days when I met you when you were a 19-year-old entrepreneur, and to see what you've become today, sir, is unbelievable. And so you and your amazing family, I consider you guys very close friends, and I'm so honored to be able to share the call, but more importantly, share our future together. So thank you so much for bringing me on. Okay, guys, I got some fun stuff for you. My name's Rob Griffin. I'm one half of a husband and wife team. My beautiful bride, Chica Griffin, she and I met long time ago, before Mr. Isaac was born. Actually, no, he was born already. That's great. Anyway, I was a police officer in a little town called Las Vegas, Nevada, and I needed money really bad. And a good friend of mine invited me to see a part-time business opportunity. And I'll tell you, one that is not even as cool or as amazing as the one we're sharing with you today. And out of desperation, I said yes, because I needed money so bad back then, because it was 2009, the economy had just crashed. And I say all that to simply say this, folks, because there's a lot of you right now who've been praying for an opportunity. You've been laid off or furloughed or maybe having your hours cut and whatnot. And someone said, hey, you need to come check this thing out, right? I got in with a different opportunity, one that's nowhere near as amazing as GPS. And we were able to retire me from my police career 13 years ahead of schedule. Can you imagine putting, 13 of your years back in your life? So that's the opportunity that's in front of you times 10, because this is so much better than what we were doing before. And I tell you, I'm so excited to be where we are today. I feel like it's Christmas in June because we just got our Pico 2s just arrived this morning, and my wife was like trying to hide the box from me. So I was able to sneak it away from her, which is really awesome. So let's talk briefly about customer acquisition. Let's talk briefly about virtual reality, but let's talk initially about technology. Can we all agree that technology has evolved quite a bit in the last 10 years, okay? Massive change in the tech space. I remember back when the 2G flip phones came out, back in those days, we all had pagers, and I know some of you have no clue what a pager is. And then the advent of the flip phone. I remember I had a Razor. Remember the Razor phone? It was flat little thing. And then the smartphone comes around in 2010. And then now they're installing, no joke, 5G towers in our neighborhood. You're about to see the world evolve in ways that you and I could only envision as a little kid by watching sci-fi movies. But let's talk about VR, the space, right? As Mr. Isaac mentioned, I have been a VP of sales for a VR company. We sell simulators to the law enforcement and to the military. But VR has evolved quite a bit, just like cell phones have. Can you remember when we all had brick phones? And now look what we have, these amazing computers that we carry around in our pocket. So VR is the same thing. It started, pretty ghetto, pretty bad, but it has evolved now where, Atari and Sega were the first movers. And then comes the Cube Room, which was an exciting, but not really VR. It was kind of a VR experience, but it was just projected on a screen. And then, as you mentioned before, Facebook acquired Oculus in 2014. And that's another thing that I love to hammer this point home, because there's some people out there that are haters and saying that virtual reality is not going to stick around and that it's not going to be here. They dropped $2 billion in this industry, folks. And it's not just them. There's some other big players that are getting involved. Then Google launches the cardboard VR. Let me just give you a little insight. That is not VR. That is you staring at your cell phone really closely. You need special lenses like the Pico G2 has, special technology like the Pico G2 has, and it just allows you to get a full VR experience. Now, I told you before, Facebook's involved, Apple is involved. Apple, in fact, recently just acquired a VR company. In fact, they just applied for a patent. Check this out. For one of their augmented reality headsets that's going to be coming out in the near future, where you're going to have a headset that will literally project an image onto your eyeball. Can you imagine what it's going to look like 10 years from now? So super, super exciting. And as we talked about already in the presentation, Mr. Berry did a great job. The industry itself, 27 billion today, over 800 billion in the next 5 years of time. I would tell you, if you've ever wanted to be in the right place at the right time, then 100% you have found it. And e-learning, forget about it. It's anticipated to grow by over $100 billion in the next 5 years. And when you add in what we're going to be building with the world's first virtual reality, augmented reality, e-commerce platform, you just take the rest of this thing is off the charts. Now, VR is used primarily right now for entertainment, training, but there are some amazing apps out there that you can use. Like there's one called the Google Earth VR that allows you to literally fly around planet Earth like Superman. It is unbelievable. And if you haven't got your Pico G2 yet, make sure you place your order, or maybe it's en route to your house right now. But I have a really short 1-minute video that's going to give you an idea. Now, keep in mind, we're watching it on your laptop or your smartphone, so you're not going to experience VR, but it does give you a little tease of what the reality is going to look like. Check this out, and I'll be right back. Oh, does it have the audio? I don't know. I love that video. It gets me so excited. So yeah, another thing we're talking about, what is VR being used for today? They're using it in all types of education. In fact, there are studies that have shown folks that when you put on a VR headset to do learning or e-learning, it allows you to literally retain 40% more information than if you got that information sitting in a classroom or watching a video or even, I would say even like reading a book, because of one word, it's called focus. You get complete focus. Like, you know, the military and the law enforcement, they used to train with these simulators that had these big screens, and they would project images on them. But if you're staring at a screen and someone makes a noise over here behind you or something distracts you, it's very easy to be removed from that situation. So when you have a VR headset on, it allows you to 100% focus. And that's the beauty of it. And that's why a lot of the big companies are now using it. In fact, Walmart uses VR to train their associates on customer service, safety things as well. There are students out there that are learning how to perform surgery. God forbid you need a surgery, but it's nice to know that they have the ability to practice in technology where it's okay to make a mistake, right? So you don't actually mess up someone. And of course, like big retailers like KFC is using, they literally have an app where they can show people how to fry the chicken in a virtual reality space. Isn't that amazing? And we're going to revolutionize the way people shop. Check this out, folks. In the very near future, people will be able to go shop for real estate like they never have before. They're going to be putting on a VR headset and going into the house. Like you'll be able to click a little button and then you're standing in the room. As you can see, this little video is an example of what that's going to be like. Click another button and now you're in another portion of the house. Exciting times. And then there'll be a little button say, hey, I can contact sales agent. And then through the magic of AR, VR, and GPS, we're going to have the way for us to get paid when people buy and purchase real estate in the very near future. Now, if that were not enough, we have the ability to even go shop for cars. Now, I put this particular car in there because Mr. Mark Isaac has an i8 and I'm jealous. And my wife says she needs to get a car just like Mr. Mark Isaac. So I have to work really hard and I have to recruit more than 100 people probably, but I will do that. Don't worry, I will get you that car, sweetheart. So we're going to be able to literally go to a virtual showroom, click on a button, zoom around the car, open the door, sit down in the front seat. It's going to be absolutely magical. So just know that the future is here and you're part of something really special. But the thing that really gets me excited are the other uses that we can do with VR. Like it allows people to help those who are infirm, who can't travel the way they want to. Like my mother's in her 70s. She used to travel all the time, but now she doesn't want to get on a plane. So there's certain limitations. She can't go to those places that she would have to fly to. Does that make sense? So now I can take a Pico G2. I'm going to visit her in about 10 days, and I'm going to let her go to anywhere on planet Earth. Put the headset on and let's go, Mom. You've always wanted to see the pyramids in Egypt. Let's go there, okay? Imagine putting a VR headset on someone who's wheelchair bound, who got hurt in an accident. You know, I can only imagine what that's like to break both of your legs like David did and be stuck in a wheelchair. That would be horrible. But imagine they were there permanently. Put a VR headset on them and allow them to go skateboarding, allow them to ride a mountain bike down a trail. It's going to be really awesome. Now, there's also the networking capabilities of VR. So you allow people to reunite families who are all over the world. Like my in-laws live in Tokyo, Japan. I live in Dallas, Texas. That's a long ways away, right? So we can literally send a VR headset to my mom in Japan and say, Mom, put this on. I'm going to move you into a room where you can sit down with your daughter, sit down with your grandkids, and like chat as if they were in the same room with each other's avatar. It's really magical. Now, I found this funny video, and I know some of you might get a kick out of this, because you can put a VR headset on some of our older people, but just make sure it's something pleasant and not scary. So check this little funny video out, and I'll be right back. Oh, wait, I need to make sure the audio is on for this one. Stand by. This is a pretty funny one. Okay, here we go. Okay, so make sure you don't do that to your grandmother, okay? Because there are some scary apps out there, okay? And the Pico G2 has got like 4K resolution in there, so it really would freak them out if you did put something scary in there, so be careful with that. But we're talking about a state-of-the-art VR headset. Now, the old VR headsets were bulky and big and ugly and tethered. They had to have a big wire attached to your head that also was plugged into a computer that had to run it. Like the VR headset, the older version that I have in the other room over there, between the cost of the headset and the cost of the computer to run it, it was over $2,000, guys. And so you get a Pico G2 with the state-of-the-art technology for $500 plus shipping and handling. That is the best deal on planet Earth. If you haven't ordered yours yet, make sure you go ahead and do so. Because like I said, amazing quality. You put it on, you're like soaring over an ocean, and you have the ability to download these apps and experience your Pico in multiple ways. Like you can literally link into your Netflix account, link into other types of apps, according also with VRLU as well. Like I said, Netflix and Hulu. There's even an amazing app out there called VR Engage that will allow you to network with people and meet in a boardroom, meet in a movie theater, or meet in an auditorium and network in ways that you and I never thought we could. In fact, you can pick random custom areas to meet up. Like there's even one where you can meet up on planet Mars, which is intense. And then the bigger piece here, folks, I think, is when we do finally launch our augmented reality, virtual reality, e-commerce platform that's going to really allow people to experience before they purchase. They call it EBP, commerce platform. It's going to allow you through technology to superimpose clothes on your body, to put a watch on your wrist or a hat on your head, and then literally shop and try things on long before you ever seen it, touched it, without even leaving the comfort of your home. It's going to be absolutely magical. And then you add in the best 1-2 punch that network marketing has ever seen, a Pico G2 combined with high quality VR content. So I've had some friends of mine say, well, Rob, I've tried VR before and I didn't like it. It made me dizzy, or I didn't get a good experience. You know what that tells me? It tells me they had garbage content. Because there's some garbage content out there. Like I will tell you, if you go to YouTube 360, there's some videos that were made years and years ago when technology was bad, and they're bad. And they, you know, so or maybe they saw VR not in a real VR headset. Maybe they weren't using something like a Pico G2. Maybe they had the cardboard VR and they were staring at their cell phone, okay? Our partner, our content partner, VRLU, are professional VR producers that are creating ridiculously good quality content. This is a lineup of our masters here in the United States. There's also a whole bunch of them in South Korea, and they are currently right now ramping up for production in Japan, and they have some content coming out of Japan that's gonna absolutely blow your mind. In fact, they have what's called a master search going on right now with VRLU, and they're asking for people to send in leads. Some of my leads I sent in and some of my team sent in, they're going to be signing with VRLU, and they're going to be creating content that's going to absolutely blow your mind. Like, and in fact, I'm not even allowed to tell you because the contracts haven't been inked, but it's a household name. It is a big thing coming out of Hollywood, and it's going to absolutely freak you out. So just know that what you see today is about to get a lot better. Now, one of the cool things about our exclusivity with GPS and VRLU, instead of having to pay a la carte, one course after another, hundreds of dollars per course, we have the amazing opportunity now to get what's called unlimited access for a small fee, which is really, really nice, okay? So it's going to be an unbelievable opportunity. So instead of having to pay hundreds or thousands of dollars to get all this content, for a low monthly fee of $99, I get unlimited access to all the master classes. Don't worry, if it's in a foreign language, it'll be subtitled so that you and I can understand. They also partnered with an amazing gaming company that's going to have tons of games that are included with your VRLU subscription. So I don't know if you like the game. If you've never gamed in VR, man, I'm going to tell you, you're in for one heck of a treat. I have a 17-year-old kid in the other room over there who is an avid gamer, and he games constantly. And I said, son, you need to come try VR gaming. He goes, Dad, I don't want to. And I put the headset on him. I threw him into a game. And I kid you not, within 5 minutes of time, he takes the headset off. And he's like, Dad, I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack because of the focus and the realism that you're going to be immersed into. Some of you ain't ready, man. You're just going to really, really love what's coming for you. So if that were not enough, they have a travel channel that's going to be built into VRLU. And in the very near future, there'll be even almost like a YouTube where you can create your own content and share with people. I'm just telling you, what you're seeing today, folks, is literally the tip of the iceberg. Magic things are about to happen, and you finally get to be in the right place at the right time. So I'm going to tell you, my part here is done, but I get to bring up a champion. I'm going to tell you, there's an old saying that says, people may not remember what you said, but they will never forget the way you make them feel when you meet them. And I think leaving first impressions on people, especially in this world that we live in today, one of my favorite sayings is, tomorrow you're going to brighten a room, either when you walk in or when you walk out. So the individual I get to bring on this call today, he's that guy that always brightens the room. He's that guy that made me feel like we knew each other for years the first day that I met him. And I knew that we were brothers from another mother. And I knew that I was hoping one day that we'd be able to work together. You know, so Mr. Lee has befriended my wife and I. We've been friends for a very long time. And I'm honored to bring this champion with 20 plus years in network marketing on the call. And he even handed over to him. So Mr. Lee, the call is all yours, sir.
Man, thank you so much, Mr. Robert Griffin. And every time I hear you talk about what the future of the industry and our company, our spaceship here at GPS, you just get me so fired up, so jacked up. I mean, guys, I already can't sleep. I haven't been sleeping in weeks in a good way. And I've never been more excited about any business model or concept or confident. I'm just tripping out because I have been spending so much time talking to people over these kind of Zoom calls and conference calls and few in person. And everywhere I go, in every walk of life, it doesn't matter if people are old or young or male or female or what industry or technology they're into, they're just always embrace it right away. And they have their own ideas and they start expanding on it. I mean, you almost got to cut them off. And so to have that kind of response is just super, super exciting. And I take a look at all the leaders that have graciously shared their wisdom with us on our Saturday training today. And I'm blown away because I'm telling you guys, I look at this lineup and I'm like, dude, we got titans. We have industry legends. I mean, listening to people like Mr. Thomas Berry, who are just like colossal in this industry. Mr. Mark Isaac, I've watched his career from day one and break record after record after record. David Nieves, who's done global business, huge volume. And now Mr. Robert Griffin just showing us the future and the technology. And some of you guys out there have already received your Pico 2 VR goggles and you're already playing with it. I saw the post on online, guys. I'm so jealous. I'm here in Hawaii. I'm probably not going to get it for a day or two. And I'm just like, it's not fair, but it's fun and exciting. And I want to wrap up this last section here, which I truly believe the topic I'm going to cover, which is going to be promoting events and also team building is just super important for you, because there's only a few things that we do in our business is we get customers and we get customer getters. And make no mistake about it, we're going to do it one customer or subscriber at a time, and we're going to do it one influencer at a time. So I'm going to pull up a little my section right here. And I want you guys I hope you guys are taking notes right now. Because it's important for you to, wait, hold on guys, make sure this is on here. It's important for you guys really to get this rolling. Hold on, let me make sure this is looking good. Okay, hold on guys, I'm gonna redo this again, hold on. I want to make sure that this is clean for you guys. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, we're good to go. All right, guys. So as I go through this quick PowerPoint here, definitely follow along and take some notes, okay? Because when it comes to team building, if you can just get good at building a massive team, or should I say 2 teams, then you could go all the way to the top of this compensation plan. And there's only 4 steps that we do. And the first step is inviting. The first step is just exposing somebody to this business and getting them to take a look at it. And you're going to see that you definitely don't want to spend too much time with one person or judge or prejudge anyone. You want to just have speed and exposure. The good news is step number 2 and 3, we're going to do for you. You know, we're going to present this information. We have lots of industry experts and great speakers and seasoned networkers that are going to help to present and train your team, which is step 2 and 3. And then your job is just to repeat steps 1, 2, and 3. So if you just get good at inviting, you're off to the races, okay? So like we talked about, don't prejudge, guys. Make that physical list. A lot of people just use their cell phone or their laptop, but there's no way you're just gonna look at your cell phone and say, well, I talked to her and I talked to him, but I didn't talk to this person, or I have to call that person back. Make a physical list, a VIP list, if you will, in the beginning. If we're gonna build 2 massive organizations, who do you want to be the generals that override those 2 massive organizations? And then your everyone else list, guys, maybe by city or by state or even country. You know, we're already in the United States right now, Japan and Korea. So don't worry about any other country right now. Put them on your list. But a lot of people are like, hey, Tommy, how do I open up India? I'm like, India, how about we just open up our city, Honolulu first? You know what I mean? So guys, understand also that the bigger list you make, it's like having bullets in going to war. Do you want to go into war just having like 5 bullets, or do you want to have like unlimited ammo? So make that list as massive as you possibly can. Okay, and let's move on real quick. I'm just going to briefly touch on these points. Most of this stuff, guys, is common sense. But when you're in a new company and you're in a new system and you're trying to learn the compensation plan and all the vocabulary, guys, that can become overwhelming. And sometimes we forget these things. So when we're inviting, which is probably one of the most important skills that you want to get pretty good at, is you got to maintain a level of enthusiasm. Last 4 letters, IASM, I am sold myself. And a lot of times there, you know, we're talking to people, whether it's over the phone or in person, we don't understand what we're sounding like, or we don't understand what we're looking like. And I've actually had people in a direct sales industry and they are just very monotone and they're like, hey, Frank, I've got a great opportunity for you. You definitely need to take a look at it. And you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're wondering why people aren't taking a look. They're not logging onto the Zoom call, or they're not getting excited too. Sometimes we've actually got to do a practice a couple of times on the mirror, or video yourself on your cell phone and watch yourself or listen to how you sound, guys. You want to be jacked up, fired up, stuttering. And then people are going to be like, wow, what's going on? I tell people, hey, don't do this for real, but you know, pour a little cup of gasoline on your head and then light it on fire. And then you dial the cell phone. You know, what are they going to hear on the other side? This is what they're going to hear. Ah, I'm on fire. And they're going to be, oh, what's up, bro? What's going on? See, guys, you have to get super, super, super excited, okay? And number 2, have urgency, okay? We were in pre-launch for the last month. We just had our grand opening. We're literally 13 days in, guys. Reality is we're in the first 2 weeks of the launch of this company. And the urgency to get in because of the type of compensation plan with overspill, hey, first come, first serve. And so that's why I want to talk fast and I want to move fast and I want to spend very little time with a lot of people versus a lot of time with very little people, okay? Number 3 is, you know, whoever that next presenter is on the Zoom call or whoever they're going to be listening to, or even if you're going to send them a video, definitely raise the level of influence of that person because they don't know who that person is. So talk about that person. Don't brag about it. Don't exaggerate, but talk about some of the accolades that they've done and talk about some of the human aspects or traits that are very powerful for them. Okay. And so also definitely next one is show confidence and don't brag. You guys got to understand. And some of you guys are new and you have anxiety and fear and I wonder if this is going to work or not. Well, lean on our confidence. You know, I've been in this industry for 26 years. We have some of our leaders here, like Mr. Del Williams, who's over 50 years in the industry. We've got people who have literally decades and decades and decades of mastering this industry, changing thousands of lives, doing hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue, and they got it. And we take a look at a brand new concept like GPS and we're thinking, this is so anti-gravity. This is so all-encompassing. This is so insane that I don't even understand how somebody would say no to this. All you've got to do is lean on our excitement, lean on our confidence until you have your own, okay? Let's keep this thing simple. You know, we've got a basic, simple system and process. We invite people, we present to them, we train them and launch them, and you repeat the process over and over again. And as you keep walking somebody through the process of going from invite to exposure, maybe answering their questions, getting them on a training just like this, and they make a decision, I'm in, we get their goggles ordered, we get their subscription up and running, they're off to the races. Repeat, Rinse and repeat over and over and over again, guys. And I promise you, every time you walk somebody through this process, you're going to get a little bit better at it. You're going to get a little bit more familiar with the compensation plan. Okay. So some people are just going to wait. Some people, you know, they've got to try the actual Pico goggles, and then they do it. And they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's like, yeah, it was amazing now. It was amazing a week ago, and it was amazing 13 days ago when I told you to jump on the grand opening, and you already could have had 50 or 75 or 100 people on your team, but that's okay. Hey, some people are going to wait, but I'm not going to wait with them. Some people are going to wait till you have a success. Some people are going to watching you sitting there thinking you're going to quit because they saw you quit soccer, and they saw you quit canoe paddling, and they saw you quit all the sports and hobbies you've ever done in your life. And let's just be honest, people quit. A lot of people come up to me and they're like, hey, Tommy, you know, I researched online and I realized that most people don't make money in network marketing, and most people don't make money in direct sales. And I said, absolutely, you're right. And they're like, really? You admit that? Why? I said, because we can't change people. Most people quit ice skating before they became Olympic ice skaters. Most people quit singing before they became next American Idol. Most people quit running before they won the triathlon. In fact, let's be honest, 3 out of 5 marriages end in divorce. You know, like seriously, over 60% of people give up on the person they love. So if they quit marriages, they quit soccer, they quit hula, they quit, you know, every sport or hobby, they drop out of school. You know, GPS is no different. Our industry is no different, guys. People are quitters. But, you know, I don't want to sit there and judge and dictate who's going to have a success and who's not. I'm just going to talk to everybody, you know? So judging people is like staring at an acorn and saying, you're going to be a big tree. This is going to be a massive tree. How do you know? All you got to do is dig a hole, put that acorn in there, put some fertilizer, cover it up and water it and watch it grow, and plant as many acorns as you can. And then you're going to have a forest that even grows and multiplies, guys. So I want to spend 1 minute with 100 people, not 100 minutes with one. So say less to more people, okay? And understand it's timing, not talent. Guys, when it comes to inviting, if you want to be an effective inviter, you know, a lot of people, the biggest mistake they make in this industry is that they think everyone else thinks exactly like them. That's not true, guys. That's really not true. Maybe this pandemic has actually destroyed their lifestyle or their way of living or their business, or maybe they were furloughed or lost their job. They might be in a very motivated and vulnerable position right now and open to opportunity. Some people are busy putting out fires left and right. They have that leaky boat syndrome, and their business, I got to fix that. I got to deal with employees and benefits and salaries. And when is the opening up, when we reopen up our restaurant or what have you. So they got a lot on their plate, guys, and it's just not the right time right now. And they've got more bigger fish to fry. Hey, you got to be understanding of that. Some people, you know, and especially in our industry, we've been killing it with during this COVID-19 because people are stuck at home. You know, and they're, what are they going to do with their free time? Well, they're going to either watch Netflix or YouTube and movies, or we could go out there and make a fortune. How about that? And so it might be the perfect timing for them. But either way, what it is, guys, like I said, just keep talking to every single person, not judging. Some will come now, some will come later, like you heard. Okay, so let's talk about what your goals are. You know, number one, invite as many people as you possibly can. Okay, understand that there's a ratio, okay, and you're gonna get better and better and better at this. But the best way to get big numbers is just talk to a lot of people, and we don't need to sign up 500 or 1,000 or 10,000 people personally, guys. Really, all you need is 2 in the very beginning, and your third and fourth. Of course, we're not gonna give up, and we're gonna keep on digging and building and building and building and building. But really, if you just make that list of 100 people and we expose 100 people, you're going to find 2 people, guys. Trust me. Okay. So let's use the script when we're inviting. Okay. And there's a bunch of different team scripts out there. You guys could definitely take advantage of. We have a launch sheet. There's scripts on there, and practice it and use it. Why? Because it works. There's no reason for us to teach you to use something that doesn't work. Okay. So if I call somebody up and with energy and with enthusiasm and jacked out of my mind, I'm like, hey, Frank, what are you doing? Okay. And I just got really lucky, and I started working with some successful people, and they asked me if I knew anyone who has a great attitude or business mindset or work ethic. And I thought of you. Are you open to making extra money around what you currently do? Now think of the science and the psychology of that one sentence. Are you open? You know, if that reciprocal to that is, are you open? No, I'm closed. I mean, come on, guys. Anyone that's ever watched a TV commercial or listened to a radio or a YouTube, you watch the ad through, you're open to getting information, okay? To making extra money, extra. We're not trying to replace their full-time job. We're not trying to replace their small business. This is extra money, and even more so around what you currently do, around your busy schedule, guys, okay? So think of how much impact you have in that one sentence. Are you open to making extra money around what you currently do? And as you guys can see, you've got the different responses. If they're yes, perfect, let me get you on a Zoom call, okay? If they're like, no, hey, politely hang up. If they're like, what is it? Come on, you got to get on this. You can either use trust, or you can say, hey, it deals with virtual reality and augmented reality, but there's no way I could explain it over the phone. Just get on this Zoom call. Now, the last thing I want to add to that, and some of you guys are really going to benefit from this if you're listening. After 26 years, what I learned is you got to touch the heart before you reach for a hand. You've got, without explaining it, because our job is not to explain. Our job is just to invite. And we don't want to get the messenger in the way of the message, guys. Your job is just to get them on that Zoom call. So how do you convey your excitement and your care to somebody? You switch roles and you level with them. So after you get them agree to jump on a Zoom call, you say, hey, Frank, how long we been friends? How long you know me? How long we've been working together? And they're like, man, 8 years. Hey, I've known you since we were kids, or I've known you since high school, or hey, I've known you for years. Say, hey, man, trust me. I wouldn't waste your time. This is big. Don't flake out on this. If you were me and I were you, I would expect you to do the same thing for me. Do not flake out on this call. This is going to be a game changer. This is going to be global. This is a chance for us to change our family tree, bro. So don't flake out on this call. I'm going to call you right after call is done, and we're going to talk about this and get your questions answered. Now, if I told somebody just to invite and hung up, maybe they'll jump on, maybe not. But if I laid down that insurance and understand people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, and I care about them success and them getting this information, and I'm gonna lay my relationship on the line. Why? I don't care if they do it. I don't care if they don't. All I care is they take an honest to God look at it. And I promise you guys, if you just convey your energy, excitement, and care and enthusiasm about somebody. Now, how do you do that with a text message? It's better than nothing. But I'll tell you guys right now, if you care about that person, pick up the phone and call them. And if they don't answer and you're texting them, you say, hey, it's an emergency, call me back. And when they call you back, I can verbally, with tonality and excitement, invite them to the Zoom call, then send them the text and send them the link. So guys, this is not just about sending text messages. How come? I'm telling you, we live in a world that people are just inundated with information. Even as I'm talking to you now, some of you guys are driving. Some of you guys are maybe watching TV or doing things in the background, and that's fine. But I'm telling you, is when you're inviting your friends to take a look at a life-changing opportunity, what do you think they're doing? And then when you pull up an ad or a video on YouTube, the first thing in the corner, it says skip ad. And you're tapping that screen, cracking the glass, tap, 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 skip ad, skip ad, skip ad, skip ad. They can't wait to swipe it. So I'm telling you, people, its attention spans are about the same as a mosquito. So what's going to get them to actually watch and click on that Zoom link? What's going to get them to actually pay attention to the information? Because I promise you, if they watch that opportunity video and they listen to one of our phenomenal speakers and leaders, they're going to, unless they're like brain dead, unless they don't have a pulse or not even 2% of vision or business knowledge, they're going to get it. Okay. I'm not saying that they're going to do it, but they're going to get it. And they're going to understand why you were so excited and why you can't sleep. And good chances are they'll at least jump on your team or become a subscriber for you. So I just want to encourage you guys, as we go out and invite, take advantage of all the events. You know, we have a Zoom presentation that's happening every Monday through Friday. Okay. Also, when it comes to events, we have these Saturday events. Everything is recorded, by the way. So you don't have to wait just for that 7 o'clock or 2 o'clock presentation, whatever time zone that you're in. Okay. We have everything recorded. and we have many different presenters that are from different walks of life that your person might really resonate with. Okay, and so definitely send them that particular presentation if you're sending a recording. Tomorrow, Sunday, we're going to have a team call. And it's very good on a Sunday before you start your week to get aligned and focus and get all the latest announcements of what our goal and our focus is throughout the week. So I'm telling you guys right now we're doing presentations around the clock. It takes about 20 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes at the most to give a call, especially if they have a direct sales experience. And meanwhile, we're sending out videos in between here. Watch this. Somebody's at the point where they're watching a training. Somebody's ready to be launched. And guys, we're around the clock. We're building this thing. And so you got to just do your absolute best to make good use of every single minute that you have. And of course, we had our first Influencer 100 and above leadership. And you got to do whatever you got to do to get to Influencer 100 so you can get on these exclusive calls with our top leaders. Yesterday's one, we had Mr. Danny Bay, the co-founder and chairman himself, do the very first leadership call. And it was lit. I'm telling you guys, step by step, phase by phase, you're going to see this company evolve, and it's going to get more and more exciting. It's going to get easier and easier. I know in Korea, they've already launched the shopping portion, experience before buying. And that's a whole another realm and world of GPS. And they've already partnered in Korea with LG and Samsung and many other big companies. And Mr. Robert Griffin is telling you, we've got future hardwares and things and games and applications that he can't tell you that's coming out. And you guys are going to go from here to here. Those of you guys that were building ACN, I'm sorry, not ACN, but GPS during the pre-launch, you guys were building it just off of slideshows. You're building it off of pictures. And now a lot of you guys have the actual Pico 2 VR goggles to demo and play with. And your excitement went from here to here. Also, we have a lot of success stories that are happening. People that are just getting promoted now and testimonials. So all these tools are going to help you to promote the events. All of these stories are going to help you to have more belief, more excitement, and promote these events. So if you get good at team building, if you get good at promoting events, you might not understand the compensation plan yet. You might not be a super technical guy, as you can tell, just like me. I'm like I suck with computers. But I'm going to, as I learn this stuff, put people in front of GPS and these amazing leaders. And they're off to the races. And I'll tell you guys, we're on day 13. I'm just past 3,000 influencers on my team. And this ain't our first rodeo. And I've got some people in my team that are much, much better than me at this business and this industry. And they're tearing it up. And I just feel honored and blessed to be a part of it all. I'll tell you guys right now, I've never seen anything like this before. So you guys got to recognize our timing of where we are and the spaceship that we're on. And you couldn't pay money to have an opportunity such as we have. So we cannot take it for granted, guys. Understand where you are, get excited. And this week, talk to every single person you possibly can, as long as they're 18. And throughout the week, let's run harder. And we will see you guys on the team call tomorrow. It's going to be an amazing one. We will see you guys on all the Zoom presentations Monday through Friday. And Friday we'll have a leaderships. And of course, on Saturday, we'll convene back here again for our Saturday training. So once again, thanks to all of our leaders for your valuable time and your wisdom. On behalf of everybody, I want to thank all of you leaders in the GPS for your hard work, your dedication, and your loyalty. And together, guys, holding hands, we are going to take this company and concept all over the world. It's going to be the wildest ride of your life. So thank you very much. This concludes our Saturday training, and we're signing off here. Aloha from Hawaii. Take care. Stay safe, everybody.